Hey, this is David with The Verge, and we're taking a look at the Acer Iconia W510. It's one of Acer's first Windows 8 devices. It's a convertible, which is a hybrid of a tablet and a laptop, and it's one of the first Windows 8 design devices we've had a chance to use for more than a few minutes. On the one hand, this device is a tablet. It has a nice black and white look. It weighs about 1.3 pounds, and it looks just like most Android tablets we've tested. It has a 10.1-inch screen, again, like a tablet, but its 1366 by 768 resolution is much more like a laptop. There are plenty of other laptop-like features here, too, from the Intel Atom Z2760 processor to the full-size USB port on the side. Again, this is very much a mix of a tablet and a laptop, and it's trying to be both at the same time. There's also a dock, which is what turns the W510 into a full-fledged laptop. The dock has a full keyboard, a trackpad, and a big battery inside. And when docked, the whole thing weighs a little less than 3 pounds, so it's a pretty light laptop. The dock has a big, kind of clumsy hinge. It can rotate 270 degrees and act like a viewing stand, which is pretty cool, but it's really hard to move, and it kind of feels like you're going to break it every time you try to move it. There are 2 cameras on the W510, an 8-megapixel camera on the back and 2 megapixels on the front, and though I'd bet you won't really use either one, they're pretty good cameras as tablets go. We're going to see a lot of hardware like this in the next few months, so this was a really good device to use to really test Windows 8. The biggest thing that jumped out is just how easily it makes the transition from touch to non-touch environments, whether you were typing and then picked it up to use on the couch or vice versa. It's a really smooth operating system, kind of no matter what you're doing. Acer did let us know that this isn't final software for the device, and a few things like trackpad gestures aren't available yet, but Windows 8 really does feel at home whether you're using it by touch or with a keyboard. There's a big learning curve either way as you figure out which gestures map to which keys and which menus you bring up and how to switch between apps and things like that. But once you figure out a lot of the navigational stuff, it's really easy and pretty smart. I will say I found myself tending to default to touching the screen rather than mousing around even when it was docked like a laptop. Windows 8 in general is also just really, really smooth. The W510 isn't particularly impressive hardware, and the OS is still really responsive and fast. There are a few stutters here and there. Launching an app for the first time can take a while, and switching between them can be a little clunky every once in a while, but the vast majority of things work really, really well. And that's really the overall impression I'm getting from the W510. It's a good device. There's nothing particularly special about it, but it seems like on a lot of hardware that's going to look and feel just like this, Windows 8 is going to run really, really well. There are going to be 3 different models of the W510. Starting at $499, you'll get just the tablet with 32 gigs of storage, and you can get 64 gigs for $599. For $749, you'll get the tablet plus 64 gigs of storage and the keyboard dock, and that's really when this starts to become interesting. We're going to be curious to see what happens in the next 2 weeks as we get up to the launch of Windows 8 on October 26th, but if the W510 is any indication, there's going to be a lot of good stuff on sale this fall.